I like him. Want to just jump into Shlomo Aleichem?
Yeah. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so good to be with you, but boy, has it been a week. So much going on in this world, and I know a lot of us, our hearts are thinking about what's happening in Southern California with the fires. A lot of us have folks. In fact, Terry Kane's daughter lost her house, Emily, Pacific Palisades. We lost our sister congregation in Pasadena, and our colleague lost his house as well, one of Kendra and my colleagues. So it's rough, and a lot of us have family. Uri Godfell writes to me this morning saying, my childhood synagogue was Pasadena, and my childhood home were burned down. So there's a lot of pain there, and I think when you hear there's not enough water, you can't help but to be even more concerned about the kind of world we're living in when we don't have enough water to fight fires. So we think of them. And I have to tell you, I spent the day yesterday after driving from Palm Springs home watching the funeral of Jimmy Carter. I had to watch every bit of it. And it inspired me in so many ways, the life of this man, and in terms of his great work, and I would always say post his presidency especially. He just did so much work in the community and made the world a better place in his own way. So it's been a lot this week, a lot to carry for all of us. And some of us may be a little concerned about what's coming up. So we need Shabbat, we need each other, and that's why we're here, right? So Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
And I'd like to invite Philip Schwartz to kick it off as he lights candles for us as we join together.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As for their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And now that we've welcomed Shabbat, I invite you to welcome the person next to you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Say hello to someone maybe you don't know, wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
We read together. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor ha'beracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki vorech kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam v'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברך וירתה וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה. בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
Please rise if you're able. Please be seated. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvona meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakir kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום מביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. Together, this is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, my beloved, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, my beloved, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
I invite us to take a deep breath in, exhale out. Another deep cleansing breath in.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה נורא יוסף אלך, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקר יום לפני משה ומרים, צליאנו ואמרו, צליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים. May you shelter us with peace until the morning comes. May you lay us down with love, and may you raise us up. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים לחיים.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over Yerushalayim and all the world. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'poresh sukat shalom aleinu, va'kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim va'al kol ha'olam.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
We now continue the central portion of our worship with our tefillah. I invite you, if you're able to please rise.
Adonai siftai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevii ge'ula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hakashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha bal gevurot, u'mido melach, melech memit u'mechaye, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim bechol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated if you're able. We join together. God, help us to make this new Shabbat After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves. We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the work you are creating. We break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We reach toward one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha lached na'el lehodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom tasim leolam.
This week's parasha, Vayicha, actually, Vayechi, I should say, ends the book of Genesis. So goodbye, Genesis. And it ends with Jacob's death. In this piece, Jacob is literally on his deathbed, and he's been in Egypt now 17 years. He was 147 years old. And he calls his son Joseph over to him and asks him to make sure he's buried among his fathers in Canaan and not left in Egypt. One of the most important aspects of this parasha, I think, is, in fact, when Jacob blesses his sons as well as Joseph's sons, his grandsons, that is, Jacob's grandsons, Ephraim and Manasseh. That is where the tradition of blessing our children on Shabbat actually comes from. And the interesting part of this is that Manasseh is actually older than Ephraim. But when Jacob blesses his grandsons, he actually crosses his hands and he blesses Ephraim first, continuing the trend, if you will, of the younger being blessed over the older, which of course goes against the tradition, right? But remember, Jacob himself is younger than Esau. And Joseph is younger than, 10 of his brothers. And he carries on the family business, if you will. So he continues that trend. You see, things do not always go as expected, do they? These past few days are an example for all of us. I mean, it's January, my friends. Why are we talking about fires? It's crazy. We're sitting in our convention in Palm Springs, and all of a sudden, all of our phones start blasting off. The fires in the Pacific Palisades and Pasadena and throughout SoCal. We have lost a synagogue in the Reform movement. We have actually a colleague of Cantor and myself lost his home. We have a congregant whose child lost her home. And like I said in the beginning, we even have some people that were raised in that synagogue in Pasadena that are feeling it, who already lost his childhood home, Uri Godfeld, even though he hasn't lived there in years, nor has his family. Driving through the fires yesterday to get home from the conference was, let's say, a bit concerning for Cheryl and I. You know, as you're driving and all of a sudden your phone goes off saying you're in an evacuation area. Please leave. And you see the fires on the hills. We've now done this twice. Wasn't as bad as the other time where we had fires on the 5 on either side of the freeway. That was so, remember that was a few years back, very scary. But this is scary. Fire is so scary, how quickly it moves. And I taped while I was driving, we taped the funeral of Jimmy Carter. Talk about another unexpected situation. Here's an unexpected person from a very small place in Georgia who leads our country. We could talk about how he led or not led, or how good or not good. I personally appreciated his integrity and dignity as a human being. I may not have agreed with him about Israel and some other things at times, but I always appreciated his honesty, and he said what he believed. I thought he served our country, especially as a past president, remarkably well, and I really appreciated all that he gave us. But how do we deal with the unexpected? How do we deal with something that is out of our control, which is just about everything, if you think about it, except for our reactions, I guess. Ultimately, this portion ends on a beautiful note. After Jacob's death, Joseph speaks from his heart. And we know from earlier in Genesis that there was lots of deception and hurt amongst Joseph's family. So much so that it felt as if it was on a perpetual cycle. But in order to bring it to an end, one member of the family who's entitled to retribution must stop the cycle and forgive instead. That is what Joseph does here. As Richard Elliott Friedman writes in his commentary, this beautiful end of the story of deceptions and retributions completes an intricately embroidered narrative. Many interpreters have treated the Joseph cycle as if it were a separate entity, referring to it as a novella. Insofar as that term connotes an independent work, it is misleading, cutting off what is an integral part of this connected narrative. Symbols, ironies, and relationships of characters and events are lost when one performs this surgery and separates the Joseph cycle from the rest of the story. I love that quote by him. Just as we end Genesis and begin a new year, we are afforded this very powerful lesson, this very powerful message. We have, all of us, the power we need. In the end, all that any of us can truly control, as you all know through your life experiences, is how we react to something. May we be inspired by Joseph's ability to speak from his heart and do what is right. It may have taken him some time to get there, like it does for some of us, but in the end, he knew that family was key and important. May we consider and reflect on our relationships. May we be empowered to strengthen our relationships just like Joseph teaches us in this week's parashah. But may we, by his example, move forward in our relationships with our heart leading us. And may 2025 be a year of stronger relationships in each of our lives. As we support the rebuilding of fire-torched lands, try to work through the divisiveness in our country, through the misogyny and racism that seems to be the underpinning of our country, the one thing we have that will get us through this all, we have each other. Amen. We pause in silent reflection.
יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני
We now focus our energies toward those who are ill and in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think of Ira Berkowitz, Mort Berlant, Don Barnett, Carol Brindell, Francie Brown, Shelley Carter, John Castro, Bonnie Coleman, Ellen Dover, Doris Davis, Toby Ellman, Marcia Garcia, Erica Gardner, Jerry Gassman, Marcia Gieser, Olivia Hand, Avram Harris, Lewis Harris, Rob Haas, Jim Hubert, Arlene Humphrey, Edna Hyatt, Sharon Jackson, Rolando Johnson, Steve Ladowitz, Nohad Lahat, Elizabeth Ledwitz, Dan Lee, Carol Lerner, Jackie Levinson, Amanda Lopez, Bobby Lotman, Maureen McIntyre, Cheryl McGatt, Stephen Marceri, Scott Morgan, Barbara Morse, Barry Pinsley, Judy Pollock, Ann Port, Sherry Prezant, Stephanie Rasmussen, Harriet Saltzman, Laura Sanders, Len Schreibstein, Ray Singh, Margie Stein, Donna Thyman, Kurt Willis Sr., Sue Witten, Orrin Wood, Megan Young, and obviously we also think of all of those that were impacted by the fires in the Palisades and the Eaton fires and all those others in the Los Angeles area. As we know, they're going through a lot of pain right now. Our hearts are with them. As we continue, I'd like to also invite any of you that like to add a name to our healing list to please raise your hand. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We wish upon all those we mentioned and those who remain unnamed, a refuah shlema, a speedy complete recovery as we join together in Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Jeff Rudy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our Erev Shabbat service led by Rabbi Magat and Kanta Shafritz. After the service, please join us in the Temple House for Kiddush, Hamotzi, and Oneg. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Carol Hoffman Sweet in memory of her father, Robert. Please note on your handout several exciting adult ed classes coming up. Next week, we'll start a 3-week Israel series on Zoom with Maki, the tour guide. And Mookie, thank you, the tour guide. And next Sunday, January 19th, join Jessica Blitzshot in person for an enlightening program called Here I Am, which will explore the intersectionality of Jewish identity, the historic context of anti-Semitism, and its endurance. Please sign up for these classes online. We hope to see you next week for Tat Shabbat at 6 p.m. or a lovely Rock Shabbat service at 7 p.m. Shabbat Shalom.
So I'm very excited about the next 3 Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. I'm going to join Mookie, but he's leading the classes. I highly recommend. He's a great educator. For those of you who don't know, Mookie, raise your hand if you've been to a trip with me to Israel. There we go. All right, there's a few of you here. And Mookie actually usually leads them, either Mookie or Ron Singer. Those are my two buds. And Mookie is absolutely amazing. He is a Reformed Jewish educator from South Africa, so he has a very cool accent, very nice to listen to, but he's brilliant. He'll be the class will be at 7 p.m. on the next 3 Tuesdays, and he's going to talk about Israel. He's living there. He's had to deal with a lot of stuff, so it'll be good to get his perspective. He's going to do a history of Israel as well, talk about a few other important issues for each of the sessions. If you take a look at the kind of information online, you'll see each of the sessions. But come and join me. I think you'll be blown away. And hopefully one day we're going to join him in Israel again. Having said that, I did meet with J2 tour guides, and I am working on a trip to Morocco. More will come out in the next few months about a trip to Morocco, Jewish Morocco, but we're going to go do that. I'm still going to do a Mexico trip too, by the way. That's going to come too. So, what? No, I want to go to Oaxaca. Mexico City and Oaxaca, and you know why I want to go to Oaxaca, of course. No, actually, the food in general. They're supposed to have the best restaurants in Mexico, so why not? These are important things. The culture is important. We continue with Elena. Please rise if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
I should answer the question you asked me, Cantor. No, I could not get Mookie Betts. I got Mookie from Israel. I was close, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take a deep breath. On this Shabbat, we think of those who've died this week. And just to remind you, our minhag, our custom here at Temple Emanu-El, upon hearing the name of your loved one, if you choose to, we invite you to stand as a sign of love and grief for that person, and to remain standing until all the names on our yahrzeit list have been recited. Then together we will all rise. On this Shabbat, we especially think of the Shiva, the first week of mourning for President Jimmy Carter. We also think of the following Israelis that lost their life this week. Sergeant Ido Samiach, 20 years old. Captain Eitan Yisrael Shikenazi, 24 years old. Major Devir Tzion Reva, 28 years old. We also think of those that are grieving the Shana, the first year of mourning, for Jeff Andre, Frederick J. Billmeyer, Michael Blevins, Dr. Howard Bloom, Pauline Bronstein, Ray Carter, Mal Kosman, Janice Decker, Frederica Edis, Marilyn Fuller, Josefina Garcia, Vicki Nosinoff Goldman, David Gordon, Janet Groden, Stanley Gross, Barbara Hines, Mickey Halloway, Debbie Hetler, Kenny Johnson, Mimi Jones, David German, Al Cadis, Bob Kaiser, Joy Kaiser, Sandra Lemon, Harold Makoff, Sherry Mates, Joey McKay, Lorraine Mellon, Andrew Miller, Howard Miller, Margie Milrod, Seth Mitchner, Roz Mishkind, David Moore, Barbara Neiman, Nancy Polliger, Socorro Perez, Mark Pollock, Sally Ravel, Florence Rigby, Linda Rogers, Susan Russo, Norma Slavett, Rabbi Jonathan Stein, Marty Stein, Shirley Stein, Betty Stewart, Mickey Stewart, Scott Toddy, Concepcion Sanchez Valente, Harriet Weintraub, Shirley Wiesner, Jack Stewart Weisberger, Eleanor Chastain Williams, Stacy Lynn Wolf, Tim Zimmer. We also remember the following yahrzeits on this Shabbat as we think of Joseph Applebaum, Joseph Bain, Bernard Becker, Andrew Boxer, Milton Cherkasky, Eli Epstein, Harold Feinberg, Estelle Glanz, Meyer Goldberg, Cherna Gravich, Robert Hoffman, Ralph C. Hutchins, Lori Kaplan, David Koenig, Jeffrey Koga, Sandra Levin, Oda Lifshitz, Joseph Mandel, Morris Marsh, Alan Matisow, Gail Melman, Marcia Narder, Lawrence Newman, Mildred Peckman, William Ravel, Moishe Rifatman, Sid Rosenberg, Hilda Schmidt, Anna Sarah Shanksy, Simon Slater, Sally Sogg, Lois Starr, Charlotte Taylor, Ron Timpson, Al Turek, Gunther Vogler, Ruth Weinberg, Leonard Jack Wiesner. Zichronam livracha, may all the memories of our loved ones endure as a blessing as we all rise to recite together our mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabba, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malachutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol be'Yisrael, ba'agalav uzman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'reichu, לעולם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה משמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Please be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.